Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and I'm a guru in the wrist. Today we're going to have a look at my 5 October picks for AliExpress. These are all sitting in my cart and I'm thinking about pulling the trigger now. So first up in my AliExpress basket in October is this San Martin SN0116G World Timer GMT. Comes in at a fairly decent 39.5mm and is powered by the NH34 GMT movement. It's 12.5mm thick and has 20mm lug width, so fairly standard. 100 meters of water resistance. Has a sapphire crystal and BGW9 loom and a lug-to-lug of 46mm, which I think means that this is likely to work on most wrist size, even a slightly smaller wrist. I really like the beads of rice bracelet, which tapers down from 20mm down to 16. It comes in 2 versions, so there is quite a clean looking black version and there is a grey dialed version. The one that I'm partial to, if I'm absolutely honest, is the grey one. It is slightly more chaotic, I guess, in terms of the dial layout, but I kind of like the busyness. Has a really good coin-edged bezel on it. I do have to say that I think the various city locations on the bezel, whilst they look really cool, doesn't really work. I have seen other YouTubers talk about the fact that they don't really work. So something to be aware of. But you all know that I am a big fan of San Martin watches. I've bought 5 over the last 12 to 18 months, and of the 5 that I've bought, I have only got rid of 1. In terms of price, at $316, there are discounts out there, so you can pick it up to closer to 270, 280, which is around 230 quid sterling, which I think for a watch of this interest, I think is a pretty decent price. So second in my cart in October is this rather gorgeous Boltony S1840823. They really do snappy titles, don't they? But I am absolutely taken with that blue colour. It's just sensational. It's a 36mm, I'm going to call it a dress watch. It has 44mm lug to lug. It's quite thick at 13.6mm, but then you wouldn't call it a bubble back if it wasn't thick, would you? And it has 18mm lugs, which I think are appropriate for the case size of 36mm. It comes with a sapphire crystal and has 200 meters of water resistance. I don't know why you give a dress watch 200 meters of water resistance, but they have. And comes with pretty decent loom as well. As I say, this one comes in 2 colours. You get this fantastic lustrous blue colour and a rather nice matte black as well. But I have to say that the combination of that sort of fauxtina colour and the blue is just sensational. It does have the small second hands down at the 6 indicator, and it comes on this. You can either get it on a 2-piece leather strap or a leather NATO. Now, I've bought plenty of Boltonys in the last 12 months. I think I'm at 4. This may well be the 5th one. And at $181, with a bit of discount thrown in, so I think you're looking at sort of 166. This is coming in at around £130. Definitely one to consider. So my third choice on the list for October is this Sugess hand wind chrono powered by Seagull ST1906. It comes in 4 colours, so it comes in a single navy blue, it comes in a silver stroke white dial, and then it comes in 2 baby blue, one with a grey dial, but the one that I'm really partial to is the one on the brown leather strap. I just think that combination of colours is amazing. Has reasonable loom on it. Specs are that it's a 41mm dial, 13.5mm thick, has 22mm lug width and a 47mm lug to lug. It has 50 meters of water resistance and a sapphire crystal. And I don't have any Sugesses in my collection, so this one I'm really interested in. And I think one of the things that does really appeal to me is that ST1901 movement, which is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, really, really good looking. Quite often we see exhibition case backs on NH35s, and you look at it and think, yeah, well, okay, it's not very interesting. However, the back of this one is absolutely sensational. And at this price, at $215 or 176 quid, I think that's a pretty decent price for a very handsome looking chrono with an astonishing movement in it. So fourth in my shopping cart for October is this Corsair NH35 powered Railmaster Homage. Comes in 5 colours. It comes in a black, a white, and a blue dial on a bracelet, and then on a black and a blue colour matched strap. Coming in at $72 for a 41mm tall watch, I guess you would call it. It's 11.2mm thick, has a lug to lug of 47mm, and comes on a 20mm strap. It has sapphire crystal, and it does have lume on the dial, but only a water resistance of 50 metres, so good for a railway, definitely not good for anything else, so don't take it in the water, please. It doesn't have the what's it for it. I have to say that I do think Corsair is an underrated brand on AliExpress. I've had a couple of their watches, and both of them have been pretty good. And if you know the watch this is homaging, you know that's a fairly decent, fairly well-established luxury watch. For me, these are just great. I kind of look at this and think, at this price, unless it's got something catastrophically wrong with it. And I do have to say, I am very partial to the blue one. So I suspect it's the blue that I will get. As you can see, there is lume on the hands, but I wouldn't bet the house that it's that particularly good. And whatever you do, don't pour water all over the dial. It probably will survive, but it's not a great idea. So yeah, in terms of the price, $72 without any tax on it, which comes in at £58 sterling, which I think is a banging price for this particular watch on an NH35 movement. So for me, certainly one that I'll think about picking up. So finally, it really wouldn't be a Gorillas and the Risk compendium video for AliExpress without a cheapskate scummy in it. This one is annotated as the 2091. And this is what I have heard rather humorously referred to as the smoke, which I think is great. It comes in every colour under the sun. There are black ones, there are blue ones, there are green ones, there are ones with inverted displays, there are ones with the normal displays. The one that I am very fascinated by is this baby blue colour, which I think is just fantastic. And it's broadly the same size as the Casio, and has almost identical functionality. Seems to work in exactly the same way. So it has world time, it has a stopwatch, it has day date, it has 5 alarms and a countdown timer, but only 50 metres of water resistance. So that's the downside. This clearly isn't as robust as a Casio, but let's be honest, you're paying a fraction of the price of a Casio, so what do you expect? So for me, I've bought a number of these going back over the last 12 months. I think the best one was probably the metal one, although the yellow one, the canary yellow one, which I have a short video on, which is doing very, very well, is pretty decent. The metal one is quite impressive though for what it is. But this, I really like the colour. It's a little bit of fun, if we're absolutely honest, and it's a little bit of fun for not very much money at all. So the one that I'm after, the blue one, is going to set you back the princely sum. Oh, hello, done that wrong. It's going to set you back the princely sum of about $11.50. So we're talking about 7-8 quid. There's a whole 19 cents off it if you can find the discount code. But let's be honest about it, for $7, something with this functionality, why would you not? Crack on you go.